Regards. I am Jesus, Sananda. I am me communicate directly Shamballa, along with my partner Mission, Kotumi, in order for them to understand what is currently happening on Earth, from the spiritual levels. Intend it to be a special communication to all humanity of light, who chose the rise in the new Earth, as a way to send them best wishes for a happy and hopeful entering the new cycle of 365 days, counted by its current calendars until then. While still cannot get clear enough to realize the new tunings and their results on every human being, we tell them that the increase of light and love on Earth is a fact, a reality, a truth that surrounds them, the consequences of which they are experiencing in their daily lives. As world teachers, acting for the benefit of spreading the divine light and the new consciousness in various segments of the human society, we have been instructing them and accompanying them at every moment of this cycle by involving them in the higher vibrations of love and wisdom, stimulating the following to new and higher levels of human existence. We wish to inform you that much walk toward the ascension in Newfoundland, which is already available and already inhabited by many, despite all contrary appearances giving them the backspace printing, difficulties and stagnation. The differences between both worlds are revealed. And to awake, let's talk about two worlds, the world of the ego and the world of non-ego, the latter being the world we call the divine plan for the earth, a light project, love and wisdom, the world of God, Father and Mother, creator of this universe in its various levels. In this world, and Kotumi, we operate, as well as all universal brotherhood. These are two different worlds with each other, which can be found both within each human being, and outside and around them. Two worlds that are to differentiate and stand out among themselves, each jumping the eyes of the other, so that humanity can see them, find out what each brings them and thus has better able to understand their differences and nuances. This differentiation so well marked is a self-opportunity, so that they can choose between them and position themselves with greater awareness on Earth. The last period was marked by ego confrontation. They should know that you have chosen to bring the divine plan for Earth. This is the biggest task of humanity of light. And here, it is necessary to clarify that to bring the divine plan for the Earth, you are faced with their egos, with their old beliefs and values. Where you look, we can say that this period was marked by the confrontation of human egos, which were very evident in both its internal aspects and in relation to other people's egos. The personal or other people's ego needed to be seen, viewed from the front so that they could realize their antics and dissolve it in themselves and or choose to depart this world of ego, in its external aspects. All mankind received light energy that, if well used, provided and facilitated the dissolution of the dark aspects, internal and external, weakening the ego. However, that same energy, if misused, promoted the strengthening of the human ego, making it more visible, showing clearly their antics and dark aspects which grew over the last years of earthly existence. In other words, the strong energies that stepped into Earth encouraged them to look into the shadows, for the light revealed for all to see that before hidden and obscured by darkness. Several unresolved situations returned, just as an opportunity to resolve them through forgiveness, love, compassion and act differently. The ego forces were to seduce them with great potential, and great was the nuisance generated by this experience. And we saw how they struggled throughout this cycle. You are victorious and are managing to free themselves from the shackles. What happened to the promised planetary transition? You are still in the transition process and, little by little, all humanity of light will be relocating to the world we call New Earth, in a new dimension. As in any process of transition, for now you are wavering between one world and another. A natural oscillation and expected by us, your instructors, since they are still dealing with the world of the ego, especially within you, for the moment is learning to put themselves above the ego and dark forces. And they're off the ego world, insofar as they make new choices and discover new ways of living in this so beloved Newfoundland. Light versus dark. The darkness dissolves on Earth. This is a fact. However, it is still impossible to deny it. The present moment is requiring that each human being look at front for the darkness, shadows and the dark aspects, both inside and outside of themselves, in order to dissolve it in a minimum quantum to access the new Earth energies. We know to look at the darkness front is not an easy or pleasant process, but it is necessary. And what you interpreted as difficulties, stagnation and retrogression, we call the face of its darker aspects, one dip in darkness for the light, now anchor and bring upon themselves, fill and dissolve the world of shadows. The truth of the divine plan, to descend to earth, reveals and shows what not consistent with himself and encourages them to transformation and transmutation. World's ego still seduces them and their antics still holds them and deceives them. You are learning how to dissolve the darkness by completing the light, love and divine wisdom. Ascension and descent, what is the task of the human being? You are still in ascension process. An ascension is actually a process of descent. Descent of light and the divine plan for the earth. They should know that it is you who do down the new earth and the new dimension, as if pulling them down, using language they can understand. We warned them that they would not elsewhere. We warned them to remain exactly where they were, and human task, from the beginning, is to bring the divine plan for earth. For this purpose, they are being encouraged to move out the way all that is not written in the light project, love and wisdom, divine plan for earth. And so it was and so it does, every minute, every situation experienced and every field event, whether individual or collective, are removing the stones of the road so that at the end, enjoy a walk best suited to children's light. You are faced with great opportunities to bring God, Father and Mother, the earth, through your actions, thoughts and feelings. And the challenges in this regard have been immense, since they are so used to other plans and other experiences. Consciousness expansion and co-creation of realities. The human consciousness is expanding. And in this expansion, each of which is to realize that certain states do not want more, but were previously created for yourself, and see how much they are striving to transmute them. They have not yet understood that just as created can dissolve, as still did not understand how easy it is to make new choices and create. Dare to put yourself in a different reality. What are the impediments and obstacles? They must realize that the major impediment to the new that is surrounding them is fear and its consequent attachment, holding them the old shares. Old shares are old tools and old vibrations. These no longer are consistent more with the spiritual reality of the humanity of light. Remember that there is no way to bring yourself again using the old tools. The old man has no way to coexist with the new, even if they are new purposes, new tools must be. Human feel the vibrations and know that new ones are their purposes, but are still using old and outdated tools. And this weakens them transformers' impulses, causing them to all kinds of frustration, pain and suffering. However, they should not be discouraged because they are growing and are experiencing. This is a stage of its evolution, necessary for them to permanently settle in Newfoundland, stabilizing it effectively. Universal Brotherhood Calendar. Although you to set the tone and the right time, you will discover soon what are the new tools available and affirm that the current challenge of all humanity of light is to find new and more efficient transforming actions of reality, since the new purposes are very evident. We are to instruct them constantly. And the hint that we bring you now is that the new shares that will transform and or fast are the world of ego, are those based on love, compassion and forgiveness, are those who use the divine wisdom, inherent in every heart and mind human, as guides. And if there are forecasts to be made about the new cycle, this concerns the continuity of the challenges that revolve around their internal transformations, by reviewing their beliefs, values, and principles, so that definitely and finally discover how to use the new tools available. All mankind light experiences and will continue experiencing intense inner transformation challenge. And they should realize they are helping each other through the increasingly intense exchanges between you. Exchanges between you is very important because the union between the human beings from the solidarity and unconditional love, are prerequisites for the new earth. And if you detach it and overcome their fears, will make the internal or external transformations with fluidity and lightness, with joy and sense of well-being. We remind them that there is nothing to fear. Dare to be and do everything differently. We are supporting them. The energy mastery on earth. Many among you are human masters, ready to lead humanity of light for the new earth, showing them new attitudes and new ways of organization. Many are human masters on earth right now. Dear brothers, It is important to know that the energy mastery was spread on Earth, in order for them to become autonomous in control of their lives and co-create a new reality Earth. Some of you stepped into these energies from the pure heart and high purpose, others are skewed by self-ways aggrandizement, self-deception and wishful thinking, worshipping more individual than collective purposes. The latter, despite the opportunity received, not yet graduated as human masters, of course. They should know that the more advance in the light and expand their consciousness, the greater the feeling of unity, where individual purposes and ego do not fit. We affirm that the same energy that makes them human masters worthy and ready, you can also feel the ego mind, causing them to mistakes that over the delays that make them move. It needs to take care that they do not become false teachers. And it is also necessary to care for me not fall into the bondage of false teachers. Who are the true masters? Human masters are everywhere, in joint action with the universal brotherhood, and even they do not know or have not consciously perceived, received and still receive direct training of the brotherhood of light, while they were and are tested, especially in his egoic aspects. And here we make an alert at the same time and form, true human masters do not act from ego, do not feel more important than others, and are those who do not sing their glories and victories to the four winds. Many of true human masters are in a too quiet work and incognito, like us, perhaps prisoners in their own homes, anchoring high vibrations, loving, forgiving, sympathizing with human pain, seeking ways to help and showing new ways of being and being on earth, more through his actions than by his words. Many human masters truly ready not even know they are. Actions speak louder than words. They should understand that actions speak louder than words. And if they want to know true human masters, transpass them the words and look at the daily actions. True human masters are to innovate and bring solutions and positive alternatives for all around, always radiating love, peace, serenity, balance and wisdom. True human masters are complete, gentle, polite and compassionate. Human teachers in all segments of society. I need to tell you also that human masters are in all segments of its society. They are wrong who consider the spirituality of the sector as the single most important in this process of human evolution. And if chance have any questions concerning the integrity thereof, using as parameters our incarnations and my Kutumi on earth, we want to mirror in our actions, as we are graduates masters long ago. We are his older and more experienced brothers. Ask our help when feel confused and lost in this new human universe. And we are here, once again, to instruct them and ask them to engage in divine wisdom, so that they can discern every energy, every vibration emitted on earth, so much so that they can become true masters human, active together with the universal brotherhood, as to a sense of who they are, those of ego-emerged vibrations without any tune with us. Feel and discern vibrations, the next scheduled learning. We affirm that one of the next challenges we will face is learning how to feel in their own beings vibrations of themselves and everything around. And will they give greater attention to their sensations, the same as they provide information about the qualities of the surrounding energies? This is how we will improve the capacity of discernment. This is how we will be able to place themselves above the judgment and understand clearly the differences between the world of the ego and the world of non-ego. Just to feel vibrations, good or bad, high or not, may intend attract or alienate people, situations and events, without committing abuses and injustices based on erroneous judgments and interpretations of the ego. So pay attention to your feelings. Learn to feel the Newfoundland and their realities. His energies are mild and the main feeling is one of freedom. Learn to feel the true human masters because they are light and cheerful and draw attention by its mere presence, without requiring any effort. Multiple realities in multidimensionality. The two worlds we are commenting are each filled with different realities to each other. And this is one of the greatest gifts of our Creator Fathers, several possibilities, different levels and different options to choose from. How multidimensional beings who we are, you and us, we are aware of all possible existences. And this awareness now comes to you. The awareness of multiple realities in multidimensionality. They are still in their infancy, but it is possible to realize it. If you look around, you can see and feel different realities coexisting at the same time, different ways of life, different ways of thinking and understand the universe around. And each of the multiple realities, they seem very close to each other as they are without the thick divider's membranes as before. And you are experiencing how to interrelate with different realities. And they are learning that many are the manifestations of the divine plan on earth, and should know that all forms of existence are loved and respected. All differences are possible, and in this respect there is no right or wrong. There is only experience and respective realities that allow such experiences. The most different realities are to be defined more clearly, and in this sense, gives them the impression that are different to separate. However, there is no separation, physically speaking. The simplest way we found to make them realize this is telling them that the differences are more visible, presenting you how to block well defined. The universe of free will, the dissolution of the ego and the new earth. This is a universe of free will. All choices are experiences allowed by the Creator, Father and Mother. Even though they are choices based on the world's ego, are all experiences and learnings to almas, from the same divine source. We know that in the end, all come to the same place, each in its proper time. Interrelations, humanity light on one social network. Learn to interrelate themselves with the most choices and realities, without judgment and with loveliness, is on the agenda of the divine plan for the earth and is part of the world's no ego. As hard as it is to understand the various permissions of the divine plan, should understand that the main choice that must intend to do is to choose between the world of the ego and the world's no ego. Once the choice is made, multiple realities, experiences and dimensions are possible. And if randomly choose the divine world, we welcome them and assist them in any experience. And if there is something happening now, effectively, is the separation between the world of the ego and the world of the divine plan for earth. Our communication today is directed to those that strive to achieve higher levels of human existence, chose to be increasingly free of ego, and who are knocking at the door of Newfoundland. Came a little more of our energies and our way to understand the universe. In the eyes of these, the old is crumbling. The third dimension is dissolved. And the new way of being on earth is revealed day by day. Love as guide. We wish you to know that you are all important and responsible for bringing the divine plan for the earth, wherever they are, when every action, every thought, every feeling makes up the whole. Every human being on earth is moving, each in his divine mission, always progressing, and we, members of the Universal Brotherhood, we are in all segments, without any exception. You are not only grow spiritually. You are growing socially, politically, economically, scientifically, technologically, and in all its aspects. And follow as a whole, where everyone brings a special contribution, adding positive and transformative forces for the community. And every being who awakens to the new, expanding your consciousness and accepted love as guide their actions, becomes a potential human master. In Newfoundland, only the one with divine essence. The earth and humanity of light we address today, shines and lights up day to day. They should trust it, even if appearances show them otherwise. The human ego is dissolved, thanks to his efforts, and those who worship the forces of ego or chose to continue this earthly experience, they are moving away and to gather a more propitious reality to this experience. We ask you to be patient until all this movement is complete. Know that for the descent of the new earth will not survive, the divine essence has not manifested. And you are the dissolvers of egos, the way, and those who undertake the new with courage and detachment. As mentioned above, the most different realities are setting, and the distance between the world of self and the divine plan is increasing. What marks each situation are the qualities of their respective vibrations. Every human being has the opportunity to experience their choices and settle wherever they wish. You are responsible for attracting the divine plan for earth. As you move away from unwanted realities, through the internal work of overcoming and dissolution of the dark aspects of yourself, reorganizing its vibrations, raising them, so that old tunings become diluted and new tunings to do. Remember that the process of ascension is actually descent. This means that the Newfoundland and the higher dimensions do not descend to you. It is you who must bring the divine plan for the earth, luring him from his feelings, thoughts and actions, through higher emissions. And this is the concept that must assimilate this new cycle begins. Faith, strength and determination. Let this be a hope of communication to all humanity of light. That is given by these words, the realization that as recently graduated human masters, are a Newfoundland descent command, by raising your personal vibrational energies to new tunings. Co-creation is a fact increasingly visible among you. Take care of your choices and their focus. Establishing their purpose with faith, strength and determination. Let go up, without fear. Accept and allow the new to arrive. We hope that the divine plan is established on earth. We are one. In blessings. Jesus Sananda and Kutumi, as world teachers.